Hey, everyone.
Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Hey, Richard. Everyone was wondering why there was a transformer showing on our screen.
Well, that's my wall decor in my office.
Finally, I saw your white shirt and I said, oh, that's Richard.
Yep. We've got all DC, Marvel, Avengers, you name it. Are we all here yet?
Why is this coming up?
Tiffany?
For this webinar, did you not click the right
I don't know.
link? I emailed it to you in an email from me earlier.
Hi, Tiffany.
Earlier today.
Yes.
Hey, Richard. How you doing?
Alrighty. Yeah, I think we're all still working on that monitoring system for the whole attendance and synchronous, asynchronous. You know, I think the state just sent out a template. Was it last Thursday or so?
Yeah. Yeah, we had something in place, and then we were looking, kind of rethinking it. And I thought, well, I'm gonna just kind of reach out and see what some of the others are doing. And
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how we're,
Link to Zoom or link for
trying
Zoom.
to design our own, and make it work. So
yeah, because we're using the distance learning codes, but then also trying to figure out, what's going to be the least amount of work and stress for the staff, but still meeting the
Right.
requirements. And then you've got
Sam?
elementary and middle school. So
Yeah. I know in our dialogue this afternoon with superintendents, there was discussion about, that template's designed more for like elementary level.
yeah,
So high schools and middle schools that do the whole, different change in classes, it's going to be unique to them. So
yeah, we'll figure it out together, I guess.
hi, Aaron.
By Monday, because you have to have it started by Tuesday.
Here you go.
No pressure, Dr. Weimer. We can do it.
So what's wrong? My Zoom says that I'm Alan Peterson and that Richard is Alan Peterson and that someone else is on named Alan Peterson.
You know what? I think Alan walked in with his iPad and he told Leslie, I think there's something wrong here. So he must have done something.
All right. Well, anyway, not sure you or I resemble Alan very much, but anyway.
Oh, there's another Alan Peterson. God, there's like 4 of you.
The real one.
I was gonna say, this sounds like a Slim Shady.
Well, the real Alan Peterson, please stand up.
And you're 2 screens. You're getting audio from 2 different screens.
Hey, Aaron, we can all be like the kids and be a superintendent for the day, okay?
I like it.
Scott, I'm impressed that you made the reference of Slim Shady. You just went up 2 notches in my book.
Boy, Scott. I
He-
did Slim Shady.
He did a duet with Elton John, so that's why I know him.
Oh, you killed it, Scott.
Alan, your other account's still on. Do you want me to remove you?
No, it's all right. Well, yeah, remove that other one.
Yeah.
Well, that other one could be John or Julio, because if you'll See, this is why we're all laughing, because I'm showing up as Alan and so is Richard.
Yep.
So I don't know if all of us board member, oh no, Tiffany is her own unique self.
Yep.
That's pretty weird. I wonder if it's because you guys used, I bet that's what it's because I sent you the link to join from Alan's calendar invite, from Alan's email. So that's probably why. Do you want to get off and I'll forward you the panelists link again, the correct one, and you join that way?
Oh, I'm not worried about it.
I'm not
Okay.
either. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoops.
But Alan did have 2 computers signed on, so that's why he was showing twice.
Okay, well, there are 3 of us here. Did the others confirm, Leslie?
John said that he was going to be calling in.
Okay,
I don't
Oh.
see him yet.
John just texted that he's on. I'll be by voice only today. Okay, so he's on via voice phone. So,
Oh, maybe that's him calling in now. That says Alan Peterson. John, are you there? Okay, I was trying to help and make it easier to send you guys the link from my email, but I won't ever do that again, I guess.
We're good. Well, I believe there's 3 to 4 of us on the meeting now, Leslie. So it is 3:02. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 3:02 p.m. We'll start with roll call. Aaron Ham,
Present.
Richard Lopez, present. Tiffany Pickle,
Present.
John Swigert. Is he on the phone, Leslie?
I don't know. I don't see anybody on the, oh, hold on, let me look at one more place.
Leslie, I think you might have removed one of the Alan Petersons, and he was one of them. It's what his phone, he just texted me, and you,
Oh,
did you remove someone?
I removed an Alan Peterson, but
Yeah, that was him. And now it says he can't rejoin.
Leslie, can you please remove this Alan Peterson?
okay.
This is what the kids will do.
Exactly, you're right. Exactly, that's what they will do.
You got it.
Are those my fights? Verizon? Destiny. Right, so while we're waiting, let's go ahead and do the flag salute. So if you guys can please join me in the flag salute. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, guys. Well, thank you very much. Any luck there yet, Leslie?
I'm trying to send him the participant email again, so
Okay.
give
So
me
we'll
just
move on
1
to-
second.
Okay. Approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Okay.
Second the motion.
Thank you, Aaron and Tiffany. All right. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll call for the vote.
Okay, I
Aye,
can't,
me.
hold,
Go ahead.
just, can you bear with me just a second? Because I can't do both of the things at the same time.
Sounds good, Leslie.
Sorry, I thought I could multitask, but I guess I can't. Okay.
We're gonna start that. Richard, no. Yeah, yeah.
Tiffany, you made the motion?
Correct.
Yes.
Sorry? Yes, it was Tiffany and then Aaron.
Okay, there goes the vote. I don't know if Julio is on or not, so I didn't mark him present.
I don't have the scoreboard up, Leslie, so if you can just tell me the vote, please.
I am on.
Oh,
Oh,
Julio's on.
Julio's on?
I've been
Okay,
on, yes.
John's on.
And John just joined.
okay. Hold on, just a second. I need to cancel this. Okay, let's just do this one by hand. So Tiffany Pickle and Aaron Ham, and if you could vote by saying aye, I would appreciate it.
Aye.
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 Hi.
Aye, John.
Thank you very much. That was a 5-0.
Thank
We're
you,
good to-
Leslie.
We're good to go forward.
Okay, guys. So welcome, John and Julio. We'll move on to the action agenda. The first item is board approval of application for funding. Dr. Weimer.
So yes, every year we have to get board approval to send in our application for categorical funding for Title III, Title I funds. So the superintendent recommends the board approve the 2020, 2021 application for funding. If not, we don't get our $4 million in Title I money.
To approve the funding.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion on that item? Hearing none or seeing none, we'll call for the vote. Aye for me, Leslie.
Also aye. Are we doing it manually?
That's fine. I can mark you.
Okay. Oh, aye.
Hi, this is Julio.
Thank you, Julio.
Aye for John.
I got yours electronically. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
that's all
that
fine.
passed 5-0.
5-0. Thank you, guys. Move on to action agenda item 6.02, the purchase of 3,000 Chromebooks from the Sterling Computers by use of the National Co-op Purchasing Alliance contract. Dr. Aguilar?
Actually, that one's me.
Oh, okay, Dr. Weimer.
So we do have a purchase for 3,000 additional Chromebooks. We do purchase new Chromebooks every year for our incoming students, but our teachers and some of our older classes, juniors and seniors, have some older ones. We would like to have additional ones available in case we're having issues, since all of our people are now on distance learning for at least a period of time. This is not an item that was in the budget, but the reason we're bringing it for you right now is we do get $11.6 million in state one-time funds that are coming through the federal government. We do have to spend those on these types of expenses, and we have to have them spent by December 30th. We are hoping that the state is going to extend that deadline, but as of right now, the deadline is December 30th. So things like the MiFis that we already purchased can come out of that money, extra PPE supplies, hand sanitizer, face masks, all of those types of things can come out of that money. Chromebooks, extra Chromebooks would be able to come out of that money. So we are asking to purchase that now for the two reasons. One, we want to use the federal money that we have that expires on December 30th. And the second one is there are becoming worse and worse supply chain issues in getting Chromebooks. Anywhere from the fact that there's too many people asking for them right now to the trade war that's about to happen with, or already happening with, China, and not being able to get the parts to be able to make them. So to be able to have these on hand and not have to worry about trying to get them if any of them go bad, and to use them is something we would really like to have. And then if we're not handing all of these out or using all of these, when it comes time to order the freshman class for next year, if there are any supply chain issues, we will have these on hand to be able to use those instead if that becomes an issue as well. So the superintendent recommends the board approve the purchase of 3,000 Asus Chromebooks for the Sterling computer using the Synnex National Cooperative Purchasing Alliance contract in the amount of $986,000. And again, that will be coming from the federal money through the state in the grant form. It is not part of the original budget or the general fund.
I move to accept the superintendent's proposal and purchase 3,000 Chromebooks to the tune of $986,883.88.
And I like the forward-thinking, advanced planning, and I'll second the motion.
Agreed 100%. I really appreciate the effort here. Great
Yep.
district.
Yes,
Dr.
thank
Weimer?
you all.
How are these Chromebooks handling Zoom?
We've had a few anecdotal issues, but we haven't had any real systematic issues. And part of it usually has to do with processing power. So if you're just on Zoom, you're not necessarily having a problem. A few of the older ones might be having some issues, especially a teacher who's trying to do more advanced things with the Zoom. But if a student has Zoom open and Canvas open and 2 other tabs open, then we're starting to see a few issues, but not with Zoom just by itself.
Because these have a strong processor in them. I don't recall exactly what it is, but
Yeah, they have a better one than the ones that the junior and senior classes have.
thank you.
So these are about $330 each.
Right about that, if you include shipping and everything, yeah.
Right, with everything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for thinking it ahead, making sure that we get these in.
And we are crossing our fingers. We've been promised we will get them before the December timeline.
Cool. Thank you all. So we have a motion been seconded. Any further discussion? Okay.
Just one, I'm sorry, one more question. Scott, do they have to be received by the end of December or just encumbered? The money encumbered?
That's a debatable issue with our auditors right now. They're saying received. We don't have to have written the check. We have time that we could actually receive it and then like within 30 days to 60 days, actually make the check for payment, but we should have received it. And again,
However, that's most likely going to change in the trailer bill to the legislature.
yeah, the committee has made a change to allow it to go to June, but it has to get through the floor vote still.
Thank you.
Are there other things that we might forward purchase like this that can be, well, to make sure that we maximize the use of these one-time funds that are available that, you know, can be part of this same initiative, but if aren't used, will be valuable to us in the future?
Yeah, we're putting together a list of those and should have them for the LCAP discussion in September. None of them are as time sensitive because of the supply and trade war issues like this one is.
Any further discussion, guys? Okay, seeing none or hearing none, we'll call for the vote, please.
That
Motion
passed.
carries 5-0. Thank you, Leslie. Okay, move on to item 6.03, and that's the proposal for architectural and waterproofing design services for the El Capitan Roofing Remedial Repair Project. Mr. Calderon, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, President Lopez, board members. We're at the next step of phase 1, which is to address the roofing leaks at El Capitan High School, and that's the actual hiring of the architect. Teeter Architectural Engineering Services was the only applicant because of the complexity of the project. However, we feel very confident. We've done a lot of work with Teeter Architectural Engineering, and believe that working hand in hand with our project construction manager, that we will have a good outcome. I know the board was curious and certainly wants me to mention what the potential scope and or cost of the total repair of the roofs at El Capitan. And I'm going to have exact numbers to you once the architect completes the scope of work. The estimation of this work will be $3.8 million, and that money will be coming out of the current settlement that we've already completed with against Bernard's. This one's a little difficult, even when he tells us what the architects, should you approve them, even if they give us a price tag, that is still being hammered out even as we speak with the roofing company. Because what's really important out of this is, of course, that the roofs get fixed correctly, but it's also important that the district get a 30-year warranty after the fix. That's what our attorneys are negotiating now. So there is a possibility that it could come much more under budget, and I'll be happy to talk about that to you guys if and when I know that. But right now the number is $3.8 million, and we are getting that out of the settlement that we received so far. The superintendent recommends the board approve the proposal received from Teeter Architectural and Engineering in response to the RFQ to provide architectural and waterproofing design services for the El Capitan roofing remedial repair project.
I move to approve the proposal.
I'll second the motions, John.
Richard, you're on mute. You're still on mute. There you go.
Is that a tip or a trick? Thanks. All right, so there's been a motion, a second. Any further discussion on this item?
So Ralph, you're saying it would not exceed 3.8 million? It's highly unusual to approve something without a
Yes.
hard number. I don't think we want to have an open checkbook here.
Correct. No. Again, I will have a specific number for you. We think it's going to be more in the area of about $3.5 million. And I realize right now where we're up to. But we believe it's going to be between 3.5 and 3.8 million to fix roofs.
So forgive my naivety here, but is there a flaw with the initial design or with we've talked ad nauseum about the brick, right? We know the issue with the brick. What is the issue with the roof? Are we truly having to redesign and re-architect it, reimagine it, if you will, or we just need better materials? What happened?
Well, we're being told right now, and it's in discovery. Of course, that's part of the reason that we're suing BCA. It's also part of the reason that we sued Bernard's. Mansville is the roofing, the one that provided the roofing material. Kasdan is making the allegation that both the material and the application of the material were substandard. Mansville is coming back and saying, no, it was all on the application of the material. And here's all of our examples of where we've done work and how well it's held up. So, and this, I really don't want to talk too much about it because it's in those critical segment of negotiations between our attorneys and Mansville. But Mansville wants an opportunity to prove that their material meets industry standards and can provide 30-year roof work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess, and part of the reason why I'm asking the question is I'm wondering, is it redundant to have an architect involved? I know we're paying a lot of money to an engineer to make sure that we can have the roof the way it needs to be replaced, if you will. But I guess I wasn't imagining in my mind that we were redesigning the roof, if you will.
Yes, and some of them are more affected than others. The gym and the theater do have some significant design flaws, and what I'm being told is that is part of the reason that we're in the middle of the suit with BCA, and it has to do with sloping issues of how they set the equipment on. It doesn't drain properly is essentially what happened. It didn't allow for it to receive that much water and drain it as quickly as possible. So the theater, to my understanding, is the theater is the most sensitive one that may have to be re-roofed completely. So there's a number of systems. If you get into the the roofing membrane, the flashing, the counter flashing, the reglets, the slope iso board, the parapets, the coping, and the sealants, all have to work together to make sure that we have a good design and a good roof. So there's a number of systems that we have a project manager, a consultant, that's going to work with the architect to make sure that that's done correctly, that there is a design that's going to work. And that's why we need everybody.
And so are you recommending doing this work ahead of the lawsuit being fully determined so that we can take advantage of the time when students aren't in the classroom and before we hit the rainy season? I don't mean to be putting words in your mouth, but I'm trying to understand.
The biggest reason that I'm pushing this is to mitigate any further damage to any other type of structure. We're always legally obligated to mitigate any harm. And so it's important to get out in front of the rain this season and try to shore up things that we can stop. And so that's the time crunch that we're under right now.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
So I have a question. It seems that on everything that we're doing lately, we're always on a time crunch. But just can you clarify exactly what you're asking us to do here?
Yeah, I'm asking you to approve the proposal received from Teeter Architectural and Engineering in response to the RFQ to provide architectural and waterproofing design services for the El Capitan roofing remedial repair project, essentially to bring the architect on board.
Ralph, do you go ahead. Sorry. Do you anticipate that there's not a need to coordinate the different efforts that are going to happen at that campus? Obviously, we've got an initiative and an effort happening around the brick. The brick, and I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like I don't want to do things in piecemeal and then find out that we would have been more efficient if we'd done them all at the same time.
And that's why it's so important to have when we push for the construction manager and our expert Randy Beery from Bergman Group, it was important to have him on board because he's been part of the lawsuit. He was our expert witness in waterproofing of buildings, and so he understands how everything's supposed to work together. So when as Mr. Shaw Principal Shaw is starting to gather his team together to give us recommendations as to how we're going to move forward with the brick assembly, hopefully we'll be in position to when, hopefully we'll be in position to address that and the lawsuit will be over.
Got it. Okay, so he's overseeing the entirety of the project, not just the roof.
We have, he's overseeing the roof for now. He's also helping the architects understand what the significant issues are with the roof failure, the whole roof system failure. So only right now he's working on the roof project. When we decide to move forward, and you know, today in talking with Scott Thompson, our attorney from Kasdan, he did indicate that we really can't move on the brick assembly until the lawsuits are done with BCA and Custom Building Products, which, you know, we're not, I don't think we're in a hurry there, but we are with the roofs.
And so we can move forward with the roofs without the lawsuit being finalized?
Yes, because the primary people responsible were Bernard's, including Mansville Roofing.
Do we want to amend the motion not to exceed a certain amount? Maybe kind of as you indicated, Aaron?
I think that would make me feel better.
Do you want me to amend the motion, Richard? Okay, I move to approve the proposal not to exceed the amount of 3.8 million. Does that work for everyone? Yeah. Okay.
Works for me.
So John, you'll keep your second?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any further discussion on that item? Okay.
That was
seeing
the
it-
only, that was kind of what I was asking is what they were asking us, the amount when I asked earlier. So, thanks.
Okay. Are we good? All right, we'll call for the vote then.
Leslie, I vote yes. My app's not working for some reason, unless it finally went through.
Sorry, I was on mute, John, but it just came through.
Okay, thank you.
And motion carries 4-1. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to action item 6.04, the ratification of contracts. All right, Ralph, you're back on.
Yes. Let me get to that board item. So the following contracts were pulled from the regular August board meeting, and they're being submitted for ratification. But I do want to give you some background. So on November 13th, 2000, help me out with that, Leslie, 2019, I believe it was then that the board approved a contract between NG and the district to raise solar panels on all of our campuses. And in those contracts, there was a call for the district to be responsible for any DSA type inspections. I did talk to Ted, and Ted specifically recalls identifying this as an expenditure. But I don't think he ever gave you the amount, because certainly I think he may have used the term negligible. Clearly, I agree that $235,531 is not a negligible amount. So when I spoke, you know, I understand this is a huge project, and there are these costs associated with the project. I did speak to management at Engie. I spoke to them initially on August 13th, the day after the board meeting. I explained the concern, and she did meet with her team, and she called me back on August 20th, and they would not commit to a number yet. She asked me for a little bit of time to understand what their project costs are going to be, but I was pretty direct in saying, you know, the thing that I heard predominantly coming out of Engie and everyone else's mouth was that there was no out-of-pocket costs. So she is going to get back to me on September 2nd, 2020, but as of now, those costs are our responsibility. So the superintendent recommends that the board ratify the attached contracts, and that's the Technicon.
Is there a motion on that?
So none of us are going to feel good making the motion to pay this money because none of us want to pay it, right? Having said that, it's not Engie we're paying, it's another entity who's already, have they already completed the work?
Yes. Yes.
But, I mean, I think we're at the point where we need to pay it, but where should we have seen this? Where did we miss it?
Well, it should have been explicitly stated in November that it was not going to be negligible. It was going to be 200 or, you know, an estimate at that point that was six figures. We all know that work in schools that DSA, the owner, which is us, we're responsible for all of that. You know, so like as this came to you last month, we didn't bat an eye. I mean, we knew we were responsible.
But I think for us, Alan, you know, obviously, like you talk about DSA, is had that been upfront, had Engie been upfront with us about this additional cost, yeah, we would have been, I'm sure, okay with the project. But you know, at the 11th hour, it's like, here's a bill for $235,000 that they didn't tell you guys about, but we have to pay because the service has already been completed. Well, yeah, I mean, none of us sit well with that because that wasn't, like you said, explained as part of the cost to us. So we're stuck.
Right, but I think Ralph will agree, Engie is fully aware of how we feel about this. And I don't want to speak before it happens, but I believe they're going to do all they can to make that right. But you are correct. Regardless, it is our responsibility.
Well, and I think we all recall from that. I guess if we approve this in November, we had the very, very long meeting in October, and then approved it in November with a revised plan, which was a net zero, basically, right? We were all comfortable with this as long as it cost the district no money.
Right.
And I think Engie was very clear on that too. I mean, we were very clear. So, all right, well, I will move to approve payment for Technicon, ratification of the Technicon payment, and note that the district is going to continue to work with Engie for some amount of reimbursement.
Correct.
I'll second the motion. I just think I would feel better, and I think we would probably all feel better if we just made sure that we had everything in place the next time something like this rolls around, so that we're not in the same boat in terms of, you know, what needs to be in writing, what needs to be stated, maybe what questions we need to ask to have a better understanding, so that we're not in a spot again where we're, you know, we need to pay it, but it was maybe an unexpected or unanticipated expense.
Understood.
So Ralph or Alan, as this project continues to roll out, are there any other unforeseen costs that may be associated that aren't part of NG's responsibility?
No. No,
Well, other than fixing water lines and gas lines, yes.
Well, okay. Sounds good.
What do you mean by that?
Is that why Merced High is having the gas leak issues because of the solar panel project?
no, it's just very old line. Yesterday in trying to find where the water was leaking, they did nick a gas line, and that was repaired this morning. When they came back again, it's an extremely old pipe. So they found another leak, but while they were there, they smelled gas, and they believe that was an abandoned gas line from another era. So there's just no telling what's underground at Merced or Atwater or Livingston.
So Julio, at Atwater and Merced, you're dealing with 100-year-old schools and, or not 100-year-old, but old schools. And anytime you move the ground around a pipe, you can have issues. You don't even need to move the pipe. It's just the pressure. So there's been some water lines and different lakes that we've had to fix. That's what I meant by that comment.
Yeah, I get it. I do think that I asked that question when we were at the meeting, and don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure they replied that they would take care of that as well as it happened. But can you send us, the board, the notes from that meeting? Can somebody send that to us, please?
Sure.
And you are correct. Anything that they disturb, break, they are responsible for fixing.
All right, because I think you had said that Richard asked if there's any other things that we might have to pay for that are not on here, and I think you said that no, except if there's damage like that. So that's why I was asking again.
No, I'm sorry. I'll make myself more clear. There are no other associated costs that are expected from the district, and NG will fix anything that they break. They are near the final stages of beginning to wire the system. They're in the final stages of boring to make the connections on the campus infrastructure. So once they do that, that's really going to be the only time that they're going to be able to break anything of substance.
And I will go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I was just going to say, how do we quantify lost teaching minutes and the disruption to our campus if gas leaks and such are caused by NG? That's obviously very inconvenient.
Now, let me be clear. Those were not at all caused by NG. That was caused by last year, I believe I don't remember the exact amount, but it was a significant amount when we finished the sewer project at Merced. The sewer line was essentially collapsing on itself. There's a need to replace the remainder of that water line. Right now, we're replacing it piece by piece. It has nothing to do with NG. NG is working at the front of the school. This happened back by the shop buildings.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Are we going to see a proposal for projects such as gas and sewer lines, all of the, I don't want to call it ordinary maintenance, but the things that are antiquated and need to get taken care of? Because to me, that's probably more important than the roof cap. But
yeah, I just mentioned in cabinet yesterday that we need to do a presentation in facilities for the board, not only to tell you and show you what is being accomplished, but to seek your input and give our suggestions as to what we're going to try to tackle next.
Great. I'll look forward to that. Thank you.
Okay.
Any further discussion on that? Okay. Did we already have a motion, Leslie? I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, and a second. All right. And we'll
Yes,
call for the
Aaron
vote.
made the motion, Tiffany seconded.
Then we'll call for the vote. Thank you. The motion carries 3-1 with one abstention. Thank you all very much. All right, move on to the reports, discussion items only. Extracurricular after-school activities, as Mr. Calderon, but before that, we have a comment. Is that correct, Mrs. Rohrbeck?
You're on mute, Les.
Yes, there was just one public comment. It was made from Wendy Calavero. And Wendy says, I would like you to give it serious thought as to having the high school students take their finals prior to leaving for Christmas break to give both the students and staff a chance to recuperate after the semester. So although this comment was most likely about the school calendar, we felt that it did have some relevance to the report discussion.
Thank you, Leslie. All righty, Ralph.
If I can go, President Lopez first, I just want the board to know that, you know, the state has some regulations around band and extracurricular activity we think are basically unfair. And I want you to know that we want to treat all of our extracurriculars equally across the board. If they're not going to allow us to have instruments, horns, okay, but that doesn't mean we can't have the band together. And so in the rules, when they make general statements like, you know, no band, well, it's no band because of the horns. And so, you know, we're using our common sense. I want you to know that I just believe we have to push the envelope for our kids on these issues. And it's not so much to get the band together to march or, you know, the FFA group together to do their FFA activity. It's just the purpose of socialization, their friends, and being on a team. And so as things shift and hopefully get a bit looser, that's how we're going to come at things. I just want you to know up front how we're approaching it. So Ralph, go ahead.
Yes, just to remind the board that sometime in early summer, we were able to open up for a few weeks. And at that time, athletics was out there in front. They were able to complete, some of them were able to complete their summer programs. The athletic directors have continued to work hard and come up with some creative ideas where they can 100% follow the spirit of the guidelines, the spirit of the safety measures that the health department, the county health department has asked us to abide by, but yet still have something meaningful instead of just conditioning. So we hope to present those things to the health department as we look towards opening up once again. Of course, it'll have to be after the air quality improves, but we hope that that's soon. So that's athletics. Athletics doesn't meet the need of every kid. The other thing that we've been doing is I've met with activities directors, and as we move into the year, we want kids to have a common experience. We don't want a school being left out. We are going to start club rushes in September. Throughout the month of September, activity directors will be meeting. They've already started to meet with some of the freshmen to have freshman elections. They're trying to keep school as normal as possible. Yesterday, I think, was pajama day at Merced High School. Maybe it was around the district. I'm not sure. So they're into dress-up days. They're trying to connect with kids, and hopefully soon enough, we'll also be allowing kids potentially to be able to come on campus in an outside setting, just like athletics, with their club advisors. We want that connection to happen. So we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, last but not least, Mr. Peterson already mentioned this. When the California Department of Public Health makes a statement that no band activities or choir activities, their intentions are good, but they don't identify things like drumline, color guard, activities that can be done safely through social distancing. And yes, it requires equipment, but it's equipment that isn't shared. It's equipment that a kid is responsible for. A kid is the only one that's going to handle their drumsticks. Kudos to all of those people that I've mentioned and the work that they've done to try to put together some beginning sense of normalcy. And that's what we're working toward. And as we continue to get more guidance or more opportunity, we will continue to move our kids forward and get us back to where we need to be. Questions?
Ralph, is the new guidance for small cohorts going to help move this along?
Small cohorts of 10?
No, I think it's a little bit larger. I think something recently came out on that. I thought it was 14.
To answer your question, yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Will that help with things like shop classes, mechanic, wood shop, construction, where sometimes the classes are smaller and definitely hands-on is more appropriate than distance learning?
I'm gonna pass it off to somebody that might have a better idea.
Well, yeah,
as far as I know,
loosen up, Aaron, yes.
Say that again?
As things loosen up, the answer is yes. We might not be back to school for those classes, but a small group of kids coming in the afternoon, things like that. Because shop is very similar to a club.
Right. Right. And this new guidance on the cohorts is going to make this hopefully a reality very soon. Yeah.
And perhaps a teacher might start a new club with some of his or her students so that they could meet in the afternoon if auto or diesel trades club doesn't exist today. They could hurry and put that through, and the board could approve that club as our next.
You bet.
Okay. And so athletics, you still believe are on track to open after Labor Day?
They're able to open now, but the air quality is so horrible that we would not allow any outdoor activity in this kind of climate. So as soon as that's able, now right now it's going to replicate more of an off-season kind of schedule. It may not be on a daily basis, maybe 2-3 times a week. What we're really, really hoping, at least for athletics, is the ability to use individual equipment to practice skills rather than just conditioning.
Great, that's awesome. Thank you. And the part about the band is, it's heartbreaking, but it's beyond our control. And I like your creativity to say that parts of the band perhaps can practice.
Yeah, and I just want to be clear that that's how we're reading it. And we basically need your approval to read it that way. And I think we need to push the common sense envelope, so to speak. And if we can have percussion and color guard come, and perhaps those that use horns can come, but they can't use their horn, right? Just common sense stuff.
Well, I think every little step is great for our youth to be able, for their mental health, essentially, right? To be able to get some exercise, some fresh air, to be with their peers, and
Get out of the house.
Have a respectful adult that makes a positive impact in their life. So thank you for all of your efforts in pushing. I don't know how to say it, but it's not pushing the envelope, in being rational and reasonable and figuring out what's best for our kids.
There you go. Hey, thanks for coming together on short notice, everyone.
Alan, can you give just a brief update on how you feel the opening of school has gone for our audience?
Gone very well. I mean, there's kids are kids, and they're going to do things, and we're dealing with that part of it. But that's really been minor league, and I think we had frustration the first day, but every day seemed to get a little bit better. And now at day 5, I think folks are getting used to it and settling down. And I honestly, I'm not sure it could have started any better, Mrs. Ham, under the circumstances.
Well, thanks to everyone for all their efforts. I know that was just very challenging to get off the ground and running, and I know it was more difficult for some than others. Having 2 kids in high school, I know each day has gotten progressively better as they report in, so that's good. Thank you.
Good deal. Good to hear.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Have a good day.
Richard, you're going to sign us off, or we're
We
just
will
going to
adjourn. Message we're back at 3:53. Thank you all very much. Have a good day.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.